November 11th's action had it all: cruising bucks, hot does, and punch tags. We left off in the last episode celebrating Mitch Malaris' triumph in northern Missouri. 240 miles to the northeast of Mitch, team members Kane Gillette and Brad Huizenga are also hunting, hoping to cash in on the great conditions.
Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to the hunt of November 11, 2020 here in the afternoon set. I opted to come in here to this strider set in my South Timber. We're here for a strider. I got pictures of him in here a couple days ago at about 4:30 in the afternoon. It appears he's off his first doe and looking for his next one. So I think a lot of the bucks from trail camera and just knowing the time of the year are either with a doe or just coming off a doe, and I think a lot of the time is spent in the timber. Brad's got his bow in the tree, and there's a pile of other good bucks in here that Brad's wants to shoot. Josh and Hunter are on the farm again tonight. They're on the north side, and they're doing a hang hunt, going after Big Show. And I really like their odds, too. So, gotta settle in. Temps feel good. Wind isn't bad. It's a good direction, but it's a little light. So, we got both those onyx in the tree, and we should be good to go. So, gonna settle in, and hopefully we can make it happen again tonight. Alright guys, well, I'm sorry I wasn't able to bring you a little more of an update, but probably saw 30 deer and for sure one shooter. We're gonna slip out of here now. We're gonna leave everything in the tree. We're just gonna take the cameras out, but bows, everything else is staying set, and we're just gonna slip right in here tomorrow morning. We'll catch you guys right back here in the morning.
The following morning, November 12th, finds Jared Mills back on the river farm, continuing his pursuit of Merino.
I hope our wind stays like this for a while. It's supposed to switch like this. Alright, it's November 12th. Nice, cool, crisp morning. Pretty cool with the sun coming up and the fog through this river bottom. Back after Merino this morning. I've never hunted this tree. It's kind of on the river side of the pinch that we've hunted quite a bit. I had to get on this side if I wanted to hunt this area. I went back and forth between hunting here out in the willows, which is where we saw him the second time last night. But there's just too much east in the wind there, and I thought it'd be better to get against the river. The wind is going to switch at some point later this morning, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that and probably get down once that starts to happen. We're still having quite a bit of action. That first doe that came by, laid down the perfect scent trail, and a few minutes later that buck came by. If we could get Merino to do that, it would be money. It just brings him about 25 yards. So let's hope that's the case. We're probably a little over 100 yards from where he was at yesterday morning. Obviously he could be anywhere, but I like this spot as good of any with these conditions. see him. You see him? Yeah, he's in the bird.
145 miles to the northeast, Kane and Brad make good on their plan and tuck back into the same stand as the evening before. Similar to Jared, the morning's action has been steady, just no shooter bucks.
It's 7:30 now, and surprisingly, the movement just completely shut off. Right at first light, it was great. We had that nice buck come in, and we switched cameras real quick, and I took over the camera. Brad was going to shoot him and had, plenty of opportunity to shoot that deer, but kind of as it worked forward, I noticed that I noticed the deer, and it's actually a 3-year-old that I've had on the farm here this year. And Brad, there's a deer coming in the east right there. See it? Northeast, straight off your head, right in front of you. Doe just came in. I don't see anything behind her yet. Let him get past the tree, okay? I'm not gonna be able to film him until he gets past the tree. I'm on him. All you. Shoot him. Let's go. You did it, dude. Brad.
Oh, that is awesome.
Let's go, man. You smoked him. 5 yards, dude.
The one buck I wanted to kill this year, and I killed him at 5 yards. On the opposite side of the whole farm.
Oh, I'm shaking like I just shot that deer, dude. Let's go. I'm so happy for you, man. Dude, he's so close that I couldn't get his whole body in the frame. Because he's right here. Dude. Brad just smoked a Big Show, dude. He's dead right here.
You shot Big Show?
Brad did. He's dead right here, dude. We switched in the tree. Brad shot him at 5 yards, bro.
Couldn't get him on camera, like, but he's dead. We watched him drop. I mean, he only went 40 yards.
All right, we're at the arrow now. Got all the guys together. Like we mentioned earlier, we got Josh and Hunter in town. So we're gonna get on the blood trail here. We don't really need the blood trail, but we're gonna follow it anyway. Just, you can always learn something from a blood trail. So we'll grab my arrow here and start heading over. He's only about 50 yards away. There he is. That is Big Show. God, he's awesome. I've been almost this close before. But yeah, he's been giving me a headache, but I've stayed after it, so it all pays off. First time this deer's been on the south side of the farm this year. We've been mainly hunting him on the north, but now I've got my hands on him. All right, well, we got this buck drug out of the timber, tagged him and drug out here, and getting a better look at him. He's a beautiful deer. Kane wanted to touch a little bit more on kind of how we targeted this section of the rut here.
Yeah, so typically in the past, if you've noticed on the show, we hit it pretty hard the 30th through the 8th, kind of that pre-rut into the peak there, peak breeding. And you know, we've done it that way for years. And I was looking at the calendar this year and just going through old trail cam pictures, and you know, these deer, the most daylight active, my mature bucks are the most daylight active the 10th through the 15th. I mean, the pattern was there. And so I called Brad and I told him we were trying to get everything planned about a month ago, and I said, you know, I might be crazy and we might regret it, but I really want to target that stretch a little later this year. And sure enough, today on the 12th, all that intel that we had on the cuttybacks and the cameras just came through and paid off in a big way. So this is a deer that we started getting pictures of back in, he didn't show up till probably early October this year. And once he showed up, he was real active, but when he showed up on the cutty links, he's always been on the north side of my farm. We've never seen him anywhere else, and you know, Brad's touched on that in the past. We talked about it this morning. You know, not a deer we expected to see this morning as we were hunting the south side of the farm. So my point with that is, I think that is kind of a testament of us, you know, targeting this, you know, middle to later stretch of the rut, when these bucks, like I said, are starting to look for crews a little harder, be a little more reckless, looking for the next doe or even the last doe in their mind. So paid off in a big way. Couldn't be happier for Brad. Brad's been filming me now for 5 years, and you know, he's definitely not getting paid enough to do as much work as he does. So for this one means a lot for me to be there.
Does me too.
On film, and he definitely earned this deer, you know, a million times over again. So, and couldn't be more pumped that just this was the specific deer to come in on him this morning, since he had a little bit of a history going with it. So really happy for you, man.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, November 12th will definitely be a day to remember forever. It worked out great this morning. I love it when a plan comes together.
Brad's hunt for Big Show is a classic, driving home a common theme. Either you need the hot doe under your stand, or you have to be lucky and catch a mature buck alone while he's in between does searching. Jared's hunt finishes with plenty of buck encounters, but none of them mature, a sure sign of the approaching lockdown phase. The best buck is the Crab Claw 10, the beautiful 4-year-old who was locked down with a doe the previous evening. For the afternoon sit, Jared moves back to the general area he encountered Merino the night before. His action is decent and peaks right at the end of the hunt, when the Crab Claw 10 walks by in bow range. Team member Kaleb Greiner was also out in the evening of November 12th, but his day didn't mirror the successes of Jared and Brad. Unexpectedly mid-hunt, the local farmer makes an appearance and rips the field Kaleb is hunting. Unfortunately, the rest of the hunt doesn't produce a single deer sighting, continuing his rutcation woes. The following morning, November 13th, brings perfect conditions. Hoping to finally change his luck, Kaleb heads to Old Reliable, the Prospect Farm.
Alright guys, November 13th, Friday the 13th, day 7 of vacation. And with that being said, I've elected to come to the Prospect Farm. And if you guys can recall, this is a farm that Collins and I actually hunted earlier this year, in early October. And we had a lot of really good encounters with a few really good 4-year-olds. In years past, Josh and Collins have both hunted with me at this spot. And that being said, there is a lot of does that use this CRP transition area. And the reason I call it a transition is because there's ag to the north. And most of these deer go out to feed in this ag, and then they either bed in these pine trees that are to my north on the property, or they'll file back all the way to the neighbors to the south of me and bed over there. But what I'm hoping is I'm either going to catch a hot doe or one of these mature bucks just using this transition. I know there's a lot of good mature bucks in this area. I mean, I've been running cameras here since the summer, and I'm actually doing a hanging hunt this morning as well. And this is one of those stands, just like Casey's hunt, that once you get in the tree, you're going to have deer all around you, and it's basically impossible to do an interview. I'm going to get packed up, I'm going to get my camo on, and get to walking.
What? What? What?
What a beautiful, calm, crisp morning. I mean, didn't even get a chance to do an interview in the tree, and I had deer all over me, as expected, like I was talking about. And all of a sudden, I heard a grunt back over my shoulder towards the north. And this buck was on a hot doe, it looked like, just sitting on this hill, probably 100 yards away. I was just hoping and praying that he was gonna come. And that doe came in at probably about 20 yards, right at this old scrape tree that I made last year. And he stayed off a little bit in the distance, and I had to miss range because I shot right over his back. Got knocked another arrow and everything, and I know the deer was still in frame. I'm gonna go down, look for my arrow, and depending on if there's any blood or anything on my arrow, I'm probably gonna go back home, give it 3 hours, look at the shot on the big screen, and I'll bring it to you guys, but we'll see what happens.
Back in Illinois, myself and Kane are on stand.
That was Kaleb. He just FaceTimed me. We're just basically, you show me all the blood at the impact. And I told him, just hold off. We're going to be on the road here soon. He's not quite sure what happened, so hope for his sake that he's able to look at that footage and get some peace, because there's not a person that deserves it more than him. There's seriously not a more selfless hunter and friend out there. Always willing to film someone. Always taking people hunting. Man, I'm starting to shake again. I don't know how to explain it. When you hunt with one of your best friends, the thought of them shooting a big deer just gets me, gets us just as excited. But that's going to be a temporary wrap on Illinois. I cannot say thank you enough to Kane for having us down here. It was a blast. Got to see Brad shoot that awesome buck. And I've officially hunted out of state for the first time in my life. So, like I said, just couldn't be more thankful. It was a blast. But now we're going to get back to Iowa and see if we can't track a giant.
Well, all right, guys. It's about 5 hours after the shot, and I tried giving the neighbor a call, but I got no answer. So we're gonna have to leave the bow and everything back here, but I'm just gonna pick up this blood trail. We've given him plenty of time, like I said, 5 hours. So, I mean, hopefully he's just laying on the other side of the fence, not too far, but let's check it out.
Blood? That's him. Yeah, that's him. Huh?
I saw your arrow.
Still in him? He's just standing there right now. You see him leaning, like shaking back and forth? Look at him, look at him. He just tipped over. He just tipped over. Tipped over.
He fell over.
He just fell over. Oh, dude, did you see that? See him tip over like that? Oh, dude, he was wobbling. That's the craziest track job I've ever been on.
What track shot have you ever been on where you jump a deer and then he falls?
I've been on a lot of track jobs and I ain't never heard of something like that.
All right, guys. Well, we finally got up to the deer and got our hands on him, and boy, what a surprise. I mean, so much character with this deer, but going all the way back to the beginning of this week, the beginning of my rutcation, I told you guys I had 10 days off, and boy, what a roller coaster of emotions this week has been. Between cattle getting in to the timber and people walking into my hunting area, and just the temperatures, we had 7 days of 75 degrees. This is an uncommon week as far as weather goes, and I came to this farm because there's been a lot of does on this farm in the past, so I knew that I had a good shot at least to see a mature buck, but I just wanted to put myself in an area with a bunch of does because I was just hoping that one would be hot in this area. Turned around and saw this guy, and that hot doe came running right in 20 yards. He stayed out there. Like I said, I misjudged the yardage, and that's my fault completely, and that's why I missed that first shot. He presented another shot, allowed me to, I got a good penetration, at least half the arrow, and it hit that offside shoulder, and I went back. Thank God for good friends like Josh, Hunter, Casey, and Collins to give me advice, and be there for me. I mean, Josh and Hunter came back from Illinois. They were hunting in Illinois this morning. And for anyone that has hunted multiple days in the rut, they know that, I mean, you're going to have highs and you're going to have lows, but the grind always pays off. And today it finally paid off with a beautiful, beautiful buck, and I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, November 12th will definitely be a day to remember forever. It worked out great this morning. I love it when a plan comes together.
Hope for his sake that he's able to look at that footage and get some peace, because there's not a person that deserves it more than him.
And for anyone that has hunted multiple days in the rut, they know that, I mean, you're going to have highs and you're going to have lows, but the grind always pays off. And today it finally paid off with a beautiful, beautiful buck, and I couldn't be happier.
Full steam ahead, the team's action pushes forward, continuing the incredible stretch of hunts. We spend all year dreaming of days like these, and seemingly everything fell our way. Brad and Kane's classic rut hunt shows us that putting in your time can pay off in a big way. Though not likely, catching a buck alone searching is always a possibility, and Brad made good on his chance. Despite not experiencing the rutcation he envisioned, Kaleb's grinded out mentality results in his craziest hunt ever, producing a much-deserved trophy and a memory that will be talked about for the seasons to come. Not wanting to miss a thing, we live for each moment. As the days grow shorter and colder, we maintain a laser focus, determined to make the next few days count. The rut's infamous lull is right around the corner, and doe movement is so random now. We hate to depend on luck, but that is now the reality. Unfazed, we press on, dreaming of the time that we can join in the celebration that comes with chasing November.